Okay, so in this video, I'm gonna show you how to create a composite layer. And the keyboard shortcut for that, I just wanna show here because I have it on the slide. It's Shift, Control, Alt, and E. Shift, Control, Alt, and E. You press, I just usually press like Control, Alt, Shift, and then I press E. Okay, all of those special keys, you have to have them held down all together at the same time. Shift, Control, Alt, E. It's easy to remember because E for easy, E for everything. Shift, Control, Alt, those are like all the special keys. Shift, Control, Alt, E creates a composite layer. You should be at the top of your layer stack. So I'm gonna show that one more time. I think if you're down here, it's not including that other layer. So I'm just gonna go to the top of my layer stack, Shift, Control, Alt, E. There we have a composite layer. What did it do? It really nothing, except it basically merged this all into one without merging. So it's a separate layer. Now I can go to Filter, Camera Raw Filter, right here. Whoops, I lied. You wanna create a smart object first. Sorry, let me hit cancel. Escape. I skipped a step. Cancel. You could go to Camera Raw Filter, but I like to make a smart object so that way I can go back and adjust my Camera Raw Filter if I need to. So right click on the composite layer, convert to smart object, convert to smart object, and then I can open my Camera Raw Filter. Filter, Camera Raw Filter, Filter, Camera Raw Filter. And then from here, some sliders that are really nice. There's the exposure, if you need to change the overall exposure, contrast. I really like this texture slider. So see what happens when I do the texture? It's really kind of sharpening up all those edges, giving contrast. I'm gonna just bump it to the extreme for the demo to make it easier for you to see. You can also individually pop just your whites. So that's another way to increase contrast. You can make your black portions darker, okay? And maybe I want to do my clarity up a little bit. There we go. I feel like I'm happy with this. So I'm gonna say, I can see what I did before and after, and I'm pretty happy with that after, so I'm gonna hit OK. So the Camera Raw Filter has a lot of things stored in one. So, and again, the reason I do the smart object is so I could double click and go back to it. So I can click here, double click, and it's gonna reopen the Camera Raw Filter. If I decide, oh, you know what? Maybe I want even more on the white. I really want that to pop even more, so I'm gonna bump that even more. Okay? It also has an automatic mask built in. So let's say I like all of this. Let me do my eyeball on and off. I like all of it, but like over here, it's getting a little bit grainy from the print. So maybe I wanna mask that specific area. So I'm gonna click on my mask. I'm gonna go to my paintbrush. I'm gonna use my default black paintbrush. I get to that by D. Oops, why is it not working? D on the keyboard. Okay, there's my black. And now I can, low opacity, it's already low opacity. I can kind of take this filter off of that one area where I felt like it was getting a little bit too much. It was getting a little bit too grainy. And now I can see eyeball on and off. And it's not really impacting this area as much. So it also allows you to specifically mask out. Okay, so I feel like here's a really, the Camera Raw Filter really made a big difference here. So let's say I want to, you know, oh, for some reason I didn't want that to pop out so much. I could use my mask, black paintbrush, and take it away from that area. But you know what, I actually do want it back, and it's on a mask, so it's great. I can just use white, and now I can fill it back in. All right, so that is how you use the composite layer. So I'll show one more time, just quickly recap all that. All right, so guys, if you stopped paying attention, just look up here really quick. I'm gonna do the whole demo in like 1 minute. So composite layer, Shift, Control, Alt, E. Right click, create smart object. Convert to smart object. Then I go Filter, Camera Raw Filter. Then I have my sliders. I can do my exposure, my contrast. You know, that's not new, but the texture slider, that's probably new for you guys. The clarity, there's also a dehaze, play with those. I can pop my whites separately. I can bump those this way, and I can make my black portions darker as well. So very powerful tool. I can say okay. I like it. There's one section I wasn't really digging the filter though. When I click my eyeball on and off, I don't like how it's changing it here. It's a little too, like the photocopy, the printer wasn't that great, so I'm gonna click over to the mask. I'm gonna grab my paintbrush. I'm gonna make sure it's on 0 hardness. I'm gonna make sure the opacity is pretty low. I'm gonna use a black paintbrush and I'm gonna get rid of the filter right there. I'm not actually drawing on the picture. I'm just deleting that area of the layer mask. And that is it, okay?